Okay, 2015, day 6, probably a fire hazard. Because your neighbours keep defeating you in the holiday house decorating contest year after year, you've decided to deploy 1 million lights in a 1000 by 1000 grid. Furthermore, because you've been especially nice this year, Santa's mailed you instructions on how to display the ideal lighting configuration. Lights in your grid are numbered from 0 to 999 in each direction. The lights at each corner are at 00, 0999, 999, 999 and 9990. The instructions include whether to turn on or off or toggle various inclusive ranges given as coordinate pairs. Each coordinate pair represents opposite corners of a rectangle, inclusive. So a coordinate pair like 00 through 22 therefore refers to 9 lights in a 3x3 square. The lights all start turned off. To defeat your neighbours this year, all you have to do is set up your lights by doing the instructions Santa has sent you in order. So I'm going to get a list of instructions then as our puzzle. For example, turn on 00 through 999, 999, would turn on or leave on every single light. Toggle 00 through to 9990 would toggle the first line of 1000 lights, turning off the ones that were on and turning on the ones that were off. Right, and then turn off 499, 499 through to 500 to 500 would turn off or leave off the middle 4 lights. Okay, following the instructions, how many lights are lit? And if we go into our puzzle input, yeah, so we've got a huge list of instructions to follow. So we're going to have to iterate through all of these to find out how many lights we have left in our display. So if I just copy and paste those over to our puzzle input, and I think the first thing is to, as always, copy over our test strings. So turn on 0 through to 999, and we expect this to be all 1 million lights to be turned on. And that's our first test. And then our second test is to toggle. Okay, and that's going to leave on 1000 lights if we start off with all of them off at the start. And then our third test would be turn off, but if we start it off, they should be probably all 0 anyway. So yep, this will return 0 because if we start with no lights on, turning off lights will also end up with 0 lights on. Right, so we've seen our input is going to be a list of these calls. So we will inevitably start off with having to loop through all the lines and unpacking each of those. And how I might look to go about this will be to first set up the grid that we're going to be turning lights and lights off. So let's create a mutable array of lights, and actually because we know the size of the array, we can set this as a bool because it's either going to be true or false, on or off. It's going to be 1000 by 1000. So this is an array of arrays to make our matrix. And we're going to default them all to false of 1000. By 1000. There we go. So that's our light array that we're going to be switching on and off, and all starting off. And then we need to identify through that string the action and the coordinates that action is going to be performed on. So to identify the action, we can do a regex. Let's say regex. So let's call it the action RE. I'm going to call it a new regex. And it's either going to look for turn on or toggle. or turn off in our string. There we go. If I can spell. Unwrap that. So that's so we'll first identify the action, and then we need a set of coordinates. So if we create a coordinates, coords re, so get the regex, new, and as before here, we will want to then look for a digit, and of course it can be multiple digits followed by a comma, so by another set of digits. So that, and we unwrap that. That will identify both sets of coordinates for us, so then we can unpack them, and that'll be like our from and to range. So with that, with those regexes set up, we can now go for line in input.lines. So iterate the lines that we've got in our puzzle input. First of all, let's identify the action. So we'll use the action re dot find. We'll just want to find the first one, and it should be only one instance. Give it the line, and we'll unwrap that and get it as a stir back. So we'll get that string either turn on, toggle, or turn off. And let's also get the coordinates that we will need, and we'll need to mutable coordinates, because we're going to be accessing the coordinates within that we get returned. So the coordinates will equal the coordinates re dot find iter. So we're going to iterate through the line. So that's our matches, and then we're going to I think we could create this as a separate function, because we're going to repeat it just twice, so let's just keep it the code clean. Fn pass chord, let's get a coordinate, and it's going to accept a stir. That's going to come from our coordinates here. Okay, so what we're going to do here is going to be pass, so let's say left from will equal pass coordinates, coordinates dot next. Oops. So find the next one in our string, unwrap it and pass it as a stir. And then we will go into this function of actually passing that result. So it's going to receive that stir. What we need to do is then look at splitting on the comma, and then passing to the two values either side. So we can do that. Maybe we can do it as a tuple. A b equal s dot split once on the comma dot unwrap. There we go, and that's going to pass us the left side and the right side. Maybe we can call that left and right. Let's keep it. So left and right of the comma, and then we're just going to return that as a coordinate pair, so we can iterate. So this would be a U size of 2, so like your x and y. So then we can just do left dot pass. We know it's going to be a value that we can pass as a U size. So we're going to say pass it as a U size and unwrap. All right. Oh, need to delete those brackets there. And if I copy and paste that, we can do that the same to the right. So that's basically our x and y coordinates, and that gets returned. So here it's already updated, so we've got our U size coming back from past coordinates, and we can do the same with, so that's from, and the next one will be 2. And those are the coordinates for our rectangle. Right, now we need to go through iterating through that rectangle, and depending on what the action is, whether to toggle on and off the lights within our mutable light array. So we can go for x in from 0 to, and it's inclusive, so we have to use the equal sign there, to 0. Same thing for y in from 1 equals 2, 1. Okay, so that's given us our our rectangle. That's exactly right. And then now we're going to go through each of those locations on the grid. We need to identify what action we want to do on each of those areas of the grid. So match action, we're going to have turn on, which is going to then just return the lights at x, at y. We're going to set it to on, true, because of course we've got a boolean in our light array. We're going to do turn off, then means the lights on our array equal false. And then we've got toggle, which is a little bit more involved, which will be, we can then use another match statement up here. Match lights x, y, and whether they are true, then lights x, y will equal false, and false, lights x, y will equal true. So toggle it on and off. Oops, not family, that should be false. Get that constant out of the way. There you go. Okay, so turn on and off, and then we need a fall through for any other potential string that doesn't match those, but we should have caught them all in our action. And in fact, we could just do a print line statement here, or panic, because we should not sort of reach this stage. So unknown action. Okay, so that's the loop, that should all that, and then at the final stage we'll need to then actually then count what the number of lights that are remaining on. Once we've done all the operations, we need to do then a mutable, say what the answer is. Yeah, a U32. And same again, I'll just copy and paste this. We can just go through the entire array. So actually, so we can go for row in lights dot iter. So again, iterating through this light array. For light in row dot iter. So we're just taking a reference from it, and we go match a light, and if true, then we will increment the answer. And if false, we will just pass through. There we go. So we've got, and then we can return the answer. Okay, so I think that's really it. There we go. So double checking. So we have got we're going to create an array of our lights. We have a regex to identify the action that we need to take, and we've then got a regex to identify the coordinates within that line as well. For each line in the lines, we identify the action. We also iteratively find the matches for the coordinates, and we then get the first one and we feed it this function pass coordinate, which actually then just unpacks the two the two values with the comma delimiter. We split those left and right and return them left and right passed as U sizes to be used in our for loop. So those are our X, Y, X, Y. So from and to of our rectangle. We then go through the X, through the Y, and checking against the action whether to turn the lights on, off, or toggle them on and off. Once we've done all the instructions, we can then identify how many lights are remaining. So again, iterating through that array, seeing which ones are on, incrementing the answer by 1. Okay, so I think that's looking all good. Let's see by the cargo test whether we passed the tests. Fantastic, so they've all returned okay. Have I put the puzzle input in there? Yep, just double checking again. So I think we're good to now run through our instructions. So cargo run, and it looks like we've got about over 569,999 lights left on. So if I copy that and paste that into our part 1. And great, that's the right answer. So we've got 1 gold star for turning the right lights on and off following Santa's instructions. Great, so that's part 1 done. I'll see you in part 2.